now. And then from there, we're going to dive into some kind of like share their experiences so that we can provide really some background. Excuse me, a little flustered today. So we're gonna introduce the Kenny brothers, and then from there we're gonna talk about their background and share their experiences and how they're doing what they're doing, and then we'll talk about a little bit of recent events. The largest being Corona currently. So if everybody wants to go one by one, Bill, we can start with you, and then
Sure. Yeah, I'm Bill Kenny. I play guitar for the most part and do some vocals. Um, yeah.
I can go. I'm Taylor Kenny, and I play the drums and play or sing some vocals as well.
Yeah, and I'm Joe Kenny, and I do vocals as well. We also have Tim Martin, who's been sitting in with us on the keys for a little bit, but yeah,
he's a new addition.
Yeah.
Was he on your recent project?
Not most recent. Our first album, which was released a few years ago, we had a couple people, or we've been kind of putting out that album and a couple others. But on the most recent one that's supposed to be coming out pretty soon here, we'll see.
Summer.
But he's on the upcoming one, I should say.
Makes sense. And do you guys have a date around that one?
We were looking at June, like 3 months ago. Yeah. But I don't know. We'll see. I think we'll still kind of aim for that. But if it doesn't the stars don't all align or whatever, we'll still be good.
Nice. So that would actually end up being like 2 albums, right? You released one earlier this year. So that'd be 2 in 1 year, correct?
Yeah. We've been putting out some live stuff. Just to kind of, we've been sitting on it for a while, and just to kind of keep releasing stuff during, not playing shows during this time and all that. So we're in a good spot, even though we are all in separate rooms most of the time.
Yeah. So coming off that, like, are you guys looking to share some experiences with what's going on now in this new album? Are we going to be able to see some of that, or is that for a later project?
I don't know. You guys can pipe in here too. I don't.
Well, there's the whole deal with Chris Chase and all that.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
So Chris Chase, who owns a studio in Dover called the Noise Floor, has been promoting just for a lot of local musicians and putting together an album to try to kind of raise awareness and money for just full-time musicians. And so everybody's kind of like putting in one track, and we pieced it. We put it in a track, and we pieced it all together, kind of recorded individual tracks like that. I recorded the drums and then so Bill and Joe did guitar and bass and vocals and totally different places to kind of put a song together. So maybe I don't know, Joe, you can probably you've been working on it a ton. So
yeah. I mean, it's been pretty cool. It's a different, us creating music in 3 different places it's definitely not usual. So it's not our, it's came together kind of within the past week or so. I wrote a song like last week, and I wrote a song for this project, and then I didn't really like it. And then the next day I woke up and wrote the song randomly, and then it kind of all pieced together there. But yeah, this is definitely not this isn't a normal procedure. But yeah, it was cool. It was cool. It came together good, and I think that's it's going to be out May 15th. So yeah, you can visit his website and check all that stuff out there.
Nice, and that's from Chris. He is the producer at Noise Floor, correct? And I think this project's called Past the Hat, Volume 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it should be cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I saw that, and I love that he was putting that together for the community. It's definitely
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, he's a good dude.
So I mean, the Kenny brothers. You guys are actually 3 brothers, correct?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
How'd you guys choose your instruments? And did the youngest get stuck with the last instrument left?
Yeah, I don't know. Billy, you were the first one.
Kind of. Yeah, I guess. I think
Or-
it was like in 8th grade. I was like, I think actually a friend, like a good friend of mine, his brother played in a band who was like 4 years older than us, maybe. And so I kind of got interested and I started taking lessons. And so yeah, I did that for a little bit. We kind of played in our garage. And then I think Taylor, like the next few years later, got a drum set from we've got a cousin that plays music professionally as well. So he had a drum set. So I think Taylor picked up the drum set next. And then, well, and then Joe, it's like we kind of needed a bass player. So Joey ended up kind of picking that up. I don't know if he got the short end of the stick, but.
Oh no.
You filled the need.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, well, I played trombone first.
Oh yeah.
It made sense. It was kind of a bass instrument, so just
Right.
naturally.
Nice. Need those bass lines, yeah. I get that.
Yeah, he did play a few shows. We've got some old shows of Joe on trombone.
Yeah. Not.
You're in like 5th grade.
You're like in 5th grade, like half the size right now.
Yeah.
Did you keep up with it at all?
Trombone?
Yeah.
Well, actually, funny that you say. I have a tuba right here, actually. But I went from trombone to tuba, and so I kind of played that throughout. I guess it was middle school, really. But yeah. So I borrowed this one from someone, and it took like 45 minutes to kind of retrain the chops, but it's pretty sweet.
Nice. Hey, do you guys ever play that live?
No.
Not yet.
Cool.
It'd
be cool to have a brass section or something.
Yeah, for sure.
I've had some horn players in the past.
Yeah.
Some collabs.
Oh, tuba, yeah.
Yeah, tuba has yet to
Ooh,
appear.
yeah, tubas.
That is definitely one we need to check off, though.
Yeah.
So what about the songwriting? Is that a collaborative thing between all of you, or does someone have a stronger position on that?
Yeah.
Well, at least the way we've done it in the past few years is I've written, like, I write the songs and then I usually bring it to everybody else, and then we kind of just like morph it. It might take, could take one day, it could take, a couple of years to like really get a good feel and really work it into something. So, I mean, I originally bring it, but everybody kind of has their own spin on it. Just kind of formulate into some sort of sound that we want, but yeah, that's how we've done it for the few years anyways. It was different a while ago when I was playing trombone. It wasn't quite the same.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Joe's the main like songwriter, and then everybody kind of just come up with their own parts and just piece the whole thing together.
It's just like a real strong feel between everybody, both musically.
It's usually a pretty natural.
Yeah.
It just kind of fits into place pretty easy.
Yeah.
we did a little bit different in the last album. Well, usually it's like we've played like we'll play the songs live for like a year or two before we actually go to record them. But this one we kind of like Joe, you just kind of came up with the songs and we like went right into the studio and just kind of recorded kind of just like off the cuff kind of.
Yeah, yeah,
Which was kind of cool. It was a little bit different to like not have it like road tested and kind of like whittled down. It was more like on the spot kind of thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It was cool. It's like first impression, or it was like I
Yeah.
feel like there's kind of like when you first like create something that you think is good, it's always for some reason there's always like this first impression that it's like, oh, that is really good. But then like you think about it too much. So then like the next couple takes or the next couple times you do it, you're like, what was that? What did I do before?
Yeah,
And
you
you kind of
lose
like
it.
chase that like first
Right.
kind of gut. So that's what I think we were kind of going for with the new record, just to like, yeah, gut reactions. But yeah, it came out pretty cool. Yeah. Yeah.
What are your top 3 songs?
What's that?
What are your top 3 songs off the last album?
The last one?
Yeah, I think it was Friends, Lovers, and
Oh,
Rodeos, right? Radios. Friends, Lovers, and Radios.
yeah, yeah. So that was our last. We just put that out as like a little single thing. But
So yeah, that will be on the new one.
but that's the name of the record. Yeah, Friends, Lovers, and Radios. Yeah.
Oh, I see.
But yeah, so that's kind of. I think we'll have a couple more songs coming out. We're kind of just at this point mixing, mastering one, chucking that out, doing the same thing, and I think in June, hopefully releasing the whole thing.
Nice. And are you guys working with Chris on that as well at Noise Floor? Or are you working with multiple producers?
Actually, we've been we all live in kind of Newmarket, Dover, Durham, all that area. And we met a friend who he plays keys on this record. He put keys on it. His name is Tim. He has this barn in Madbury that we kind of just took over a little bit. Not in a very forceful way, but he just had this space and he's like, we're open, I'm open for, to use it. I want someone to use it. So we kind of like moved in, we collaborated with my friend Tyler, who's like a recording engineer, or he went to school for it and everything. And so we kind of combined it.
I've been working with him for a while.
Yeah, we've been doing the past, I think 3 or 4 releases at least. Is all him. But we combined all our equipment, put it in the barn. We got a practice space going, and it was. So I guess we kind of did it all in that space, recorded all the songs there, and so it was kind of it was interesting, definitely learning curve for sure too. But it's a good little spot there. It's kind of tucked away in the woods, so feels a little remote or more isolated. Not that we need to be that way right now any more than we need already, but
Yeah.
So at what point did you guys take this seriously as a band? You were like, okay, yeah, let's put this together and let's record and let's do a tour or let's make it happen.
Yeah. Well, what the heck? I don't remember the years now.
Yeah,
Names, but I think it was like right
it's like
before
5 years
we
ago.
did Walk in the Woods, which was like, I mean,
I think that was 2016.
yeah, probably like 2 years before that we had all those.
Right.
Put the songs together, yeah.
I was thinking about the other day actually, is I feel like 2006, I think Walk in the Woods was 2016.
Yeah.
That seems like forever ago for some reason.
Yeah, I know. Years ago. But yeah, I think what I ended up I lived in like around Boston for a little while and played in a bunch of did some like cover bands and whatnot, and did that for a while. And then it was really like I was living in West Medford, and the landlord sold my apartment, and basically a month before was just like, hey, so by the way, you guys gotta all move out by next month. So I ended up moving back home, and everybody, I think Joey, you were still in school. I think Taylor, you were in school.
I was probably still in school too. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was just kind of like, okay, we're like all back here. Why don't we kind of make an effort? Because we had played like for summers for years, kind of. It was just like everybody would go off to school and then come back for the summer, and we would try to put a bunch of shows together, and then we would kind of just disperse in the fall. So yeah, it was like whatever 2014, I think, that we all were like, okay, well, like let's try to we'll make a point of doing this. Try to get some momentum and play.
Nice.
So I guess that's kind of how it started.
Yeah.
But I mean, right, we've been playing forever.
Yeah, it's definitely tough when you guys are all, I guess, you're not all like back to back, right? Like born. I'm assuming there's a little age gap, so
Yeah.
Yeah, we were kind of just waiting for Joey to get out of school so we could
Yeah,
start playing.
that's true. Actually, yeah.
Yeah, I kind of forgot about that.
Yeah, me
It's a
too.
tough dynamic for sure.
you-
Starting out that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You graduated from high school and I graduated from college, I think. Right? So it was like a 4-year.
I think
year
so.
gap.
Around there. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, so that's an interesting dynamic on its own, and not a lot of people have. It's mostly like everybody's like college friends or something, or similar age when they're growing up together. That's cool. I
Yeah.
like that. That's interesting. So let's talk about some of the difficulties of that. What are some of the hardships that you guys have faced as a band? And it doesn't just have to be like an age restriction where you guys are at different points in your life, but anything else?
It's been hard.
Well, I mean, going along with the same thing as age, I guess, is, it has been, everybody's at a different point in like life. So it's like, it is true. Like if you're working with a group of your college friends, like in a band, it's like everybody's kind of at the same point. So I guess a difficulty could be that we are all, at different points, but, saying that too was also like, once we all got out of college, it was just, we kind of did it that way. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's been pretty smooth. I think.
Yeah.
Steady increase. I feel
Yeah.
like we've been playing like bigger shows and getting more people to the shows and selling out gigs and things like that. But I think maybe that's, I mean, I don't know if I consider it a hardship, but it's like just been a slow increase as opposed to just going like straight to the top.
That's more.
So patience wise is tough.
Yeah, playing on a Thursday night to three
To
people,
4 people,
in the bar,
Yeah, definitely.
and 2 of them, one's your dad, and
Totally. Let's start about. Excuse me. Let's talk about some of those first shows that you guys are playing. So, I guess coming from Stratum, I'm assuming you guys played Stratum Fair growing up.
yeah, that was pretty much.
That was their first.
We had like a 4-show run, like the first time we ever played as a band.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah. And it was like, I don't know how it seemed like a long sets, but I mean, it could have been 2 half-hour sets or something. I don't even know.
Well, those were the videos that we got professionally done with the trombone. Actually,
Yeah,
that was that
yeah.
was the same shows.
I
Yeah.
submitted like that for my college, like as part of my application. Um,
That's too
but
funny.
but yeah, so we did some shows at the Stratham Fair. We also played for we there's a bigger stage. So they do like a summer concert series down there too. That's like separate than the fair. And I think we played with like the Jumbo Circus Peanuts or whatnot.
Was that our first
That was the
show?
first show.
That might have been the actual first show. And we also we all joked that we were the headliners because they ended up getting rained out. We played like our half-hour set, and then it ended up like pouring and lightning and whatnot. So
The actual headliner didn't even get to play.
yeah, but yeah,
Yeah. And it was like the Sad Cafe, which was that was our first
Blasto.
Yeah, that was kind of our first sort of venue more that we played in regularly. It was like pretty much where
All
when
the
you're under 18, it was like a
yeah,
no drug zone, or it was something promoting, substance free stuff and
all ages. Yeah.
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 So like everybody that had a band that was like under 18 or 21 or whatever would play there. And they had this guy that was like a little grumpy, like the sound guy, but he did such a good he had such a good record, like he would record it, and then after the show he would give you the CD, which is like unheard of.
Live recording.
Yeah, like a good quality live recording like that, and on a CD you never, even back then I feel like that was unheard of.
Uploaded
That
to
was
MySpace.
2005. Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, that was a cool place to play. And then then just Stone Church I think was our first we used to play at the open mics there, and we had a few shows, and even in I don't know, 2012, 2013 we used to play there, but nothing really caught on. And then I don't know, a couple of 2014 maybe, that kind of became our, I don't know what you'd want to really call it, but sort of like center or hub, I guess, from there. So
You're really growing your following around then.
yeah, there we used to play actually we used to get a lot of traction down at Fury's in Dover. Yeah, those Wednesday night residencies were those were fun.
Did you guys all attend UNH?
I was the only one that didn't. I went to Bates College up in Lewiston, Maine. And then those guys both went.
We both. Yeah, Joe and I both did.
Yep.
Yeah.
All in the area.
What were you guys studying? Did you guys study music or something completely different?
I did music. I ended up studying music. I was trying to be some science major, but I was taking music all along, and I wasn't really liking the science and not doing very well. So I was just like, all right, well, I'm gonna go for the music. So I did like music composition, but it was a little bit. I mean, it was a liberal arts school, so I think it might have been a little less intense than like even actually UNH, like a pretty awesome music school. But it was great. It was great for me.
Yeah, well, I went to the UNH music school and flunked out. So
Was that around 2014 when you guys were getting your following?
pretty much. It was a little bit. That was my freshman year, which was an interesting year. But yeah, I went to UNH music school. I was just I crammed myself like too much with too much playing and too much stuff. So I ended up taking a little break. But I did outdoor education actually um, doing some outdoor like camping and hiking trips and stuff like that.
Was that a lot of hanging out in New Hampshire Hall?
Yeah. Yeah.
We went
Yeah.
to UNH at the same time. I just realized.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Cool.
Yeah, the Fish Bowl.
Mhm.
You know where that is? Yeah. Yeah, that's where it's at.
I studied environmental engineering at,
Kingsbury.
at UNH. What's that?
You guys live in Kingsbury for environmental?
Yeah. Spent a lot of time, especially in my like senior year. It was like 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. like every day. But yeah, it was definitely interesting. I'm not an environmental engineer, but I'm actually a math teacher. I'm a high school math teacher, but
That's sweet.
so or by day, anyways.
I studied engineering as well.
Oh, really?
Chemical.
Cool. What kind?
Chemical.
Oh, chemical. Okay, yeah.
I feel you on those 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. days. for sure.
Yeah. 12 plus.
So what dorms did you guys live in? Did you guys live in dorms at all? You guys are so close to home.
I lived in Randall Hall. And I lived in Alexander my freshman year too, so that was like the undeclared dorm.
Yeah, I was a Fairchild. Right
Fairchild, okay, that's a nice dorm.
Yeah, international dorm when I was from Portsmouth, so it made no sense. Met a lot of cool people though. That was cool. What about you, Joe?
I was in this. Well, I was pretty much in Dover. Well, I was in the Cirques for a semester, which were like those new ones. They were kind of new at the time, at least. But I ended up living in Dover pretty much my whole college career, I guess.
Yeah, I'm in Dover now, so I feel.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
What about you and Bates? I don't know much about it, but was it dorm?
Yeah.
Or
My, yeah, I don't even remember. Can't even remember the names. But yeah, I lived. They had like a lot of these like retrofitted like 70s houses, like houses that were like built in the 70s that were like retrofitted into dorms. So I lived in two different ones of those, and then I lived in like a suite with a bunch of well, I played hockey during club hockey at school, so I ended up living with some hockey kids,
Nice.
and yeah, it was a good time. um, but yeah, um, yeah, I haven't thought about college for a while.
It's an experience in itself.
Yeah. It was like I feel like growing up, it was like I always looked at it was like college, like that's like the pinnacle of being an adult, kind of, or not even adult. But then it's like after, it's like, oh yeah, I didn't really think about any of this.
Now what do we do?
Yeah. It's like, yeah, I finished this. Now what do I do? Guess I'm gonna play music. Yeah.
So when you guys were building that fan base and you guys went on tour like a kind of like a East Coast tour a few years later, let's talk about that first tour. And were you guys did you guys have a manager at that point? Did you guys reach out to the venues yourself? How did that go?
Yeah.
It was a lot of work. Yeah, it was a lot of work. But but we did it all ourselves. So we reached out. I actually, in the process of kind of reaching out to bands and venues, we met this guy, Ryan Martin, who he's a folk singer down in New York City. And we kind of like hooked up with him, and then we kind of booked it all together, which was kind of nice to have kind of, a tag team, I guess, like sort of thing. And he's super cool dude, so it worked out like really well. But But anyways, yeah, so we did it all ourselves, and it took, about 3 months, or 3 to 6 months to solidify all the venues. Um, so we did that, and we put out we put out like a little EP, and so we were just like, it was kind of just cool, just to do get on the road every day, drive, whatever, play music every night, and just kind of experience that. And it was really fun. That was, yeah.
My
Our
friend's
buddy,
yeah.
Cy, yeah. So Cy LaGrassa, he's actually a lighting guy who he owns his own lighting company, neighborhood lighting. But so he's been kind of a part of just the business end of the band, and so he literally drove us the entire way for whatever 3,000 miles of the whole
Wow.
tour.
Yeah.
So he
Tahoe
was
trailer.
probably the most responsible one of all of us, sort of just kept us on schedule.
That's
But
what you need.
yeah, so he was kind of the acting tour manager.
Driver.
Yeah.
Driver. Well, we like popped a I remember we were in Burlington. I think it was the first night of the tour. And no, his battery died or something.
Yeah, the battery died. We played one night.
We played one night, and we're like, oh boy, here we go. And then there was no car trouble, nothing. The rest of the time.
What kind of car were you guys? You guys like in a sedan or like SUV or?
Yeah, it was a Tahoe.
Tahoe.
Yeah.
It was sweet.
It was like a Denali. It was like
it was outfitted. We were like,
it was like
in leather seats.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, like wicked nice. Leather interior.
Yeah, and like he had all these lights like on the ground and like a nice stereo system. So we were just listening to
radio
all day. Yeah. Yeah.
So what were some of the techniques you guys used reaching out to the bands that you wanted to tour with or the venues? Now, how did you know which venues to look for or what bands you were going to contact?
How I did it actually was, now that I think about it, I kind of forgot about it, but it was, I think it's Indie Go or something.
Indie on the Go.
What?
Indie on the Go.
Indie on the Go, or yeah, something like that. So pretty much it was like a search engine that you would like, you could select a genre and then a location, and pretty much so it brought up all these bands that were kind of like a similar genre. It's a pretty valuable site, because there's people are really active and then some people aren't, but at the same time you can just learn a ton about the scene by clicking on all these different bands and just seeing what's going on. So I did that, and then I just emailed everybody that I thought would be a good fit. And like I was saying, I emailed Ryan Martin from New York City, and in doing that, so how it worked was I kind of like booked half of the shows, and then he had a booking agent that booked the other half. But it was pretty much all kind of like, hey, I know this person in this city, blah, blah, blah. We could probably do that. And then for me, it was the same, like, oh, well, I know someone here, blah, blah, blah. So it was kind of a lot of that. And then there was also some shows like in Boston and New York City where we played before that we kind of just like, kept the shows rolling through kind of the spots that we've been to before too, like in Brooklyn and actually, yeah. And then our Boston show actually got canceled, but
yeah.
But
anyways, yeah, it was kind of a collaborative thing.
And it was probably a lot of strikeout emails. I feel like probably emailed a lot of people, and a lot of people either just don't respond or
Yeah. Oh,
They
that's
respond saying no, we can't do anything or it won't work. So there's I just felt like Joey did most of it, but just a lot of emails. It's like shooting out hundreds of emails and maybe you'll get like 3 responses.
yeah,
Um,
definitely. It's a lot of probability.
yeah,
The more you do it, the better chance there is someone to, to respond.
Yeah. I mean, the more you're out there, the more connections you can make. It seems like that's a big part of kind of making it in your own way. Just getting out there and being part of it.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
because right then when you did you did contact Ryan Martin, who we had never met before,
Yeah.
and then we ended up going. We played whatever it was, 15 shows with him, and it was pretty great. Yeah, I mean
Yeah, it worked out great.
it clicked. Yeah, so it's like that one. It was worth 50 emails for that one contact.
Right. Right. Yeah. And then you kind of like,
I'm gonna
know,
use
Yeah, go ahead.
the can real quick.
he uses the yeah, he just then he can open up for us at the Stone Church, or and then we kind of trade a show for down there. And I don't know, I just feel like when especially like trying to help, or I just feel like, at least for us, it's like trading shows is kind of like a popular, or I don't know if it's popular because sometimes it doesn't always work out, but it's like definitely a good thing. Like, it's like, hey, like, come open, up for us here, and we'll open up for you down in your city. And, that kind of thing is always, it's nice when people are like supporting each other like that.
Yeah, able to do it. I mean, there is a lot of nuances with that as well. Because say you're like, hey, I want to trade shows in New York and Virginia, going all the way down, and then when you come back, you can't have a show every night at your home venue. So
Right.
Right.
home trade show trades is definitely some nuances for people who are
Yeah.
unaware. Definitely look out for those.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Lock it in first.
Well, like, it's funny because it's like, yo, man, like, come open up for us. And or like, yeah, you come open up for us, and then like the other person doesn't, pull their weight, and then you're just like, so what's yeah, there's you got to work out a couple of things with that, but
Exactly. That's good. No, that's a lot of great information behind the scenes.
yeah,
Let's talk
that's some
logistics.
inside info.
Yeah. How about the logistics on this tour? So, I mean, you guys have the nice Denali with the trailer, dead battery at the beginning, but all is well after. So, what were you guys like? How'd you guys figure out your sleeping situation, your food situation? The stops on the way.
What do we do?
You guys driving for 20 hours and then stopping for sex? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's not going on tape.
um,
No, just kidding.
yeah. What? Well, yeah. Eating. I'm trying to think of.
On tour?
Yeah.
I think we just ate at the places we played.
Yeah. We pretty much just ate. Yeah. I feel like every once in a while, but like going through like Tennessee, there's just like, I mean, it would be an hour before you see like another exit, and you're just like, oh, it's like, what was that thing that we always saw, Howard Johnson or something?
No, Bob Evans. Bob Evans. The sausage.
All the fast food chains are just. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because you can literally just see, it's just like this one exit with like 5 chain stores or
A
whatever.
massive sign. Yeah.
Right, you're like, I don't want Bob Evans or whatever this time. Then it's just like, okay, well now we gotta wait an hour until the next one, and there's another Bob Evans. So okay, whatever. We'll just go there. Actually, I don't know if we actually ate there, but I forget.
I think we knew what it was.
Yeah, I need to look it up. Yeah.
That's a good point
Actually-
to make is when you're booking these to get those food vouchers at those venues. Feed yourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought
There's
that
always
was the
something.
case for the most part.
Yeah, there's always something usually. And I feel like we usually take whatever. I mean, obviously, but it's like, oh, if it's a free, it's
That's
not,
what they give you.
we don't try to negotiate. Whatever their rules are, we'll do it. But,
I feel like for the
some
most
places are
part,
better than others, I guess.
if we explored any, we usually just got a beer. If we had time to go anywhere, I'd be like, oh, let's just go get a beer.
Yeah.
I
It's
was
funny. Cy is texting me right now, who drove the van or whatever on the tour.
Is he
said-
watching?
yeah.
He
Shout out
must
to
be.
Fly if you're watching, man. I know you are. You just texted me as well.
No.
Nice.
He says the boat,
The boat.
which we stayed on like his
Oh yeah,
aunt and uncle's like boat, like his
houseboat.
kind of like, yeah, it was a houseboat like on the water,
Was
That
it?
was pretty sweet.
South Carolina. Yeah,
Yeah.
like jump off the top and stuff.
That's a good
Yeah,
time. Yeah.
We had
That's
some.
pretty
That was
sweet.
like a one break we had, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the one day. Yeah.
So was the tour, did it seem like it was a constant go, like you guys unload, play, pack up, start driving? Or did you guys pace yourselves with the venues you booked? So you
Well-
didn't have to drive through the night or have a day in between.
Well, we I think it was 15 days, I think 14 shows.
That's pretty concentrated.
Yeah, so we played every night. So
But
I mean, we had one day off, or it might have been 12 and 13. I forget. I know we had one day off. um, and so that day off, yeah, we hung out. But I don't know. I
like,
also feel like when you're on tour, it's like the only thing you do is drive. So when you do unload your stuff, it's like, yep, you're just like, here it is again, or I feel like sometimes when you actually work all week and then you play a show on a Friday or Saturday, it can be more exhausting that way
Yeah, way worse. Yeah.
than like all you do is drive and play music. It's tiring, and I bet obviously bands that do it over a long period of time like might have a different perspective. But for the 14, 15 shows we had, I thought it was pretty great playing music every night, even though most of the time there wasn't too many people in there. But when it's like your first show in Richmond, Virginia, on
On a weekday. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, you kind of just gotta play you just leave it all out there, even though they're just as there is, if there was a lot of people there. And it's funny, sometimes I feel like this is a huge this might be I don't know if it's in my head or anything, but every time there's nobody in the room, I feel like we always play better. And I don't know if that's like, you're like, oh, you should have been there for that time when there was no one there. But like, I also feel like it could be in my head where it's like, I just don't feel the pressure of like, or like there's nobody watching me. So it's just like, maybe, I don't know. It's just in my head that it sounds better.
Like back in the garage or something, just jamming.
Yeah.
right.
But it's so I feel like we had a few good shows with nobody in there in the crowd.
That's good though. That's practice, that's
Right.
Yeah.
You never know who's gonna be there.
And that's venue connections and for the next time you come around, etc.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't say, I guess what's never, if you know, I don't know, if you don't do anything, it won't get done.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Well, it's not like
it's 100% of the. That's the Wayne Gretzky quote.
Exactly.
100% of the shots you don't take.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, the thing is too is not to be like all bummer, to not be like, oh, don't go on the road because nobody, whatever. But it definitely is good. It's good experience, and you meet new people and play with new
bands too. Like new bands that you meet and new connections, and
The community.
Yeah. Like we were in Nashville. We played in Nashville on the tour, and we played. I think it was a Sunday night, and we played with a 4-band bill. We met like probably, say 3 or 4 person in a band, met like 15, 12, 15 new, musicians. And, in a couple hours, and like some really good musicians.
Yeah.
So like playing down there was really cool. And, yeah, we were called the Avid, we were called, people kept introducing us as the Avett Brothers or whatever, or Avett Brothers or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we got the Avett Brothers coming up, and because they all thought that's what we were, just like, oh, didn't want to correct them or anything.
Yeah.
But the sound, nobody, I don't think caught on to it, except the sound guy. So like the sound guy, like before we started, which was like 11 o'clock or something on a Sunday, it was a good slot. That was a good show.
Yeah.
But the guy was like, now introducing the Avett Brothers. Like he loved that everybody kept messing that up. But that was fun. Yeah.
So how did you guys know you were ready for the tour? Were you guys just like, let's set one up and do it?
Yeah, I think it was just like, we got to do it.
Yeah, it's like we should just do it now.
I think we played all the local venues, and it had been pretty successful. And just trying to widen the sphere of our influence.
Yeah, no, I dig that. So that's a good point when you're playing your local venues, and you're seeing more than just your friends at that point. Time to jump into another scene and venue swap and all the other stuff that comes with it. That's good. That's a great point.
See what else is out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely an experience in itself.
Yeah. Think of other things. I mean, there was a bunch of stories of things that happened, but I was just thinking too, back to just the amount of time. I mean, we were lucky to have Cy driving, but I felt like we tried to keep it like 8 hours. I felt like, or that was the goal. I think there was a few longer hauls, but it felt like 8 hours. It was like, okay, that was like doable. There was no like overnight. Well, except for when we came back from New York or whatever. We I don't even if we want to go into it. But Ryan Martin, who we played with, he's based out of New York City, but we didn't realize that he lived like pretty much like an hour and a half out of the city.
Yeah, he lived in New York, but
yeah, but it was like an hour and a half. It was like we're probably closer to Boston than he is to New York City. But anyway, but then his car ended up breaking down coming out of the city, and
like right on the highway.
Yeah, like right on the highway.
In the Bronx.
So we ended up having the Bronx.
And we have it was like 2 in the morning after a show, after probably a couple beers too.
It was 2 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, right. And then, so we had to wait for the tow truck to come. So anyways, I think we got back at like 4 o'clock in the morning. I think we didn't get gas. So we were like on the E, and we were in the middle of nowhere. And
then
that was a little overnight driving, but
then we went to his house. I hope Ryan Martin doesn't listen to this. We're not criticizing him. This is the truth. We went to his house, and all his windows were open or something. He left open for like 2 weeks or whatever we were on the tour. So his whole base, he's like, oh yeah, like come downstairs and you guys can sleep in the basement. So 4 of us go downstairs, and the whole thing is like black mold. Like it's like bad. Like it was just totally like you could smell it when you walked in the house, but you didn't quite know what it was. And when we went down there, we're like, oh. And Sai at the time, who like he like did that work. He like whatever moved mold from houses and stuff, and he's like, yeah, this is like really bad. He's like, I haven't seen this in like a couple of years, and like this is bad. So, anyways, and then remember, and then so then we slept, and then he slept till like 1 a.m. and we all woke up at like 7, and we're like trying to make moves because we had a show in Boston, but they canceled. So I just remember we went home a day early, just not to get too long into that, but went home a day early and played a show at the Stone Church actually to finish the tour off, which is nice.
Not too bad. Yeah, that's pretty funny, man. The things that happen on tour, huh?
Yeah, there's a lot of cars gotten stolen. That's what Sai just texted me.
Yeah. In
Nashville.
Don't leave
Crazy
your
stuff.
keys in your car while you're playing a show.
No way.
Good stuff.
So how did the marketing go for the tour? Did you guys release your EP before the tour, and kind of route a tour around it, or did you release it as you were going or after the fact?
Actually, I know we released it on. Well, we got the CDs.
Yeah, I could probably like a day before.
Yeah.
Like, the CDs.
We got the CDs, but I don't think it was on. So I guess how we promoted it was, come see us play before it releases. We have the CDs, so you can come to the show and get the CD. But I think on the last night of the tour, we actually released it on like online stuff, so Spotify or whatever. So yeah, I mean, it went pretty well. I mean, we sold CDs on the tour, and so that was good. We got some new hats actually that I think were pretty cool. People seem to like those.
Nice.
But yeah, trucker hats. But those were like the two things that we like kind of tried to sell, and that went well. And then I guess when we came back, the Stone Church, we did like a Sunday show, so it was kind of like a low key acoustic show, and I guess technically that was the release party. That would
Right in your hometown.
Yeah, and it felt good. It actually kind of was nice. Like when the Boston show canceled, it we got to come home a day early, and it was actually kind of nice to just kind of reboot before like the last show. So it was nice. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, as far as marketing goes, you guys have the best band website I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Super functional. It's really it's a beautiful thing. If anybody wants to check out the website, it's a Kenny Brothers.
Yeah.
Is it KennyBrothers.com or the Kenny Brothers?
KennyBrothersBand.com. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, no, it's a perfect band website for sure. Everything's there. You have all your press releases and stuff, and
good to know. It's good to know.
Nice. Sometimes we need to update. It doesn't always get updated super regularly, but
nice. And are you guys handling it? Are you guys using something like Bandzoogle, or are you guys
we do Wix, I think.
Yeah.
And I just created it by myself. It's kind of gone through a few different
iterations?
Yeah, iterations, but pretty much I created it and we kind of just pushed it along since then. Which I liked. I mean, I kind of do IT stuff for my job too, but I liked Wix because well, it as opposed to like Squarespace or whatever. I remember looking at both of them at the same time, and just Squarespace, everything had to be put in like a square. I didn't have like any at least that's how it was. But I could manipulate and stuff more than like pretty much like it wasn't just like a template. Like I could kind of fool around with things. So that's why I liked Wix. But they have pretty much everything you need.
Yeah, no, Wix is great for sure.
Yeah.
I don't have too much experience with web development, but we use that as well.
Yeah. Okay. Nice. Yeah. I think it's easy
Yeah,
and
I
it,
like it too.
um, and it works. Yeah, and it looks good. So without too much going into it.
Nice. And yeah, no, that's a great website. Are you guys using your email list? And what are you guys kind of trading off? I mean, not a lot of people want to give up their emails these days and get bombarded. But you guys say you have exclusive behind the scenes content. What's that look like?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know,
Let's
but
go back
no, I think it's just music. You know, we record a lot of music, and a lot of it doesn't get released just because we don't, aren't like super 100% like this is, super great. So, sometimes it's not, the recording isn't good, or we didn't play good that night, or, there's a bunch of different factors. But, I think for people that do want, to sign up for the email list or follow us more, I think our biggest like promise is like just everything. Just like you can listen to anything,
Nice.
bad or good. So I think we have a little video that's behind the scenes, just talking about a single we dropped a year or two or a year ago now. But yeah, I think we're still in the process of doing a lot of video, creating a lot of video stuff. So I think a lot of it would be, at least in the future, be
Mhm.
some,
Yeah. Yeah, the plan is to like just have live video and audio, like I mean good quality, like whatever representations of our live shows. And if I mean especially if you go to our shows, just we can share that with them so they can remember it or
Right.
whatever.
Yeah, no, that's huge. Definitely. And even if you are putting those out, those songs that you don't think are crazy good, some of your fans may be like, "This needs to be on an album," and getting that feedback and hosting that conversation
Right.
and engaging them as well.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it's funny. It's funny that people are, what people gravitate towards, because it's like, oh, I really like that live version you did at this show or whatever, and you're like, oh, like I didn't really think. Or everybody likes like different songs. It's funny how that all works. It's like
Right.
sometimes you're like everybody, like you write, or like we've written songs and we're like, I feel like a lot of people would like, I'm grateful and I like this song. I feel proud of this song, and then like people will not like it and gravitate to sort of, it's not that they won't like it, but it's just interesting where like people find their song that they keep on repeat or whatever, stuff like that.
Or yeah,
But
sometimes in the live stuff too, it's kind of funny. It's like especially if you listen to it like right after you played the show, you're just like, oh man, like I played the G on the chorus when it should have been a C, and I screwed up this part, and then you like listen to it like 3 months later, and you're just like, yeah, I don't even. It's like you don't remember the mistakes, so then you can just listen to it a little bit more objectively and be like, oh yeah, actually that was pretty good.
Those well.
yeah.
Like I don't remember my specific mistakes anymore, so it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, it was something I learned that I like to say is that like when you're using, or I guess like your email list is more of like your personal, like it's almost like free advertising. You can market to them directly. And it doesn't specifically have to be marketing, but like engaging them, being like, hey, like we're playing in this town, what songs do you want to hear? People on that email list would only have that poll. But then again, it's like getting your views and your fans off of social media onto your own platform. That way you don't have to spend so much on ads trying to get those people who already watch you. If they're on your email list at that point, you can directly market to them, telling them you're in their town, you know.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
you're not
Yeah.
like crossing your fingers that they hope you see it in their feed as they
Exactly.
Yeah.
you
Right.
know.
Like hoping that the algorithms for Facebook are gonna work.
Yeah, even when you
Well,
pay them as well, you know. But,
yeah, it's
When they
nice too.
don't at all.
The
Yeah.
or it's just funny that people email list. I feel like even 10 years ago when like email came out or whatever, man, 15, 20 years ago maybe, but like now I feel like people have said like, oh yeah, like mailing lists are outdated or whatever, and it's like no they're not. It's still a valuable tool to use, but it is hard nowadays to get people to put their email address down.
yeah.
Or if they
So
do, just converting that. It's like, where's that paper? Where's that piece of paper that we've had for for a year on the road with all the emails? And now
Right
it's
down
like
here, yeah.
it's
Yeah.
crumpled and has beer spilled on it, and it's somewhere in who knows where.
Yeah, definitely. No, it's funny, but yeah. So like the social media is kind of like rented space, and your email list is like your house, you know,
right.
Yeah, right.
something you own. Yeah. Um, Going off that into current events. I mean, Corona being the craziest one right now. What are you guys doing as a band and as individual musicians right now to, guess, engage with the coronavirus happening?
Yeah,
It's
trying
pretty
to
tough.
trying to figure it out.
Hunkering down and trying to, practice instruments. I mean, I'm not I'm actually, I'm the drummer, but I've been playing guitar, playing guitar for whatever, just all the time. I think it's like a kind of like a convenient, I don't know, not convenient, but it's a reason to just practice your instrument. Like there's always so many reasons to not do it on a normal basis, or just like with your daily routine at the end of the day, you're just like, so it's been good to just get back to basics, I guess, for me anyways.
Yeah.
Dial in on some skills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
I
guys
think what
mentioned-
we were saying before too is like the pass the hat thing.
Yep.
Yeah, that's been cool.
That's kind of been keeping me busy the past few days, but yeah, there's the pass the hat, and I think just trying to do some like recording video stuff is it's hard, but and
Yeah.
we've been doing the streaming, or we're setting up some streaming stuff too. So we're kind of doing a lot of research about, we kind of want to get, a few cameras and, get good audio. And because I don't know, depending on how this thing or how it keeps going, I don't know if we'll be playing in the summer. And I know that for me, at least, I like need to play a little bit
Playing lives.
for the summer. So like I can wait a few months for sure, but those summer months without playing live would be tough. So I think we're trying to figure out something for live streaming to just be able to play live, and if people want to check it out, they can, and whatever.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, just see. Yeah, I feel like we've been kind of just trying to figure out, what the best way ahead is. But right, I don't know what the large, just even if people start going back to work, and I feel like just people might view large groups a little bit differently than they did before.
Yeah, it's
So-
got a bit of a strange vibe to it, coming back immediately, you know.
Yeah, so what that means for us, I don't know, but we're kind of getting on the stream wagon. It seems like a lot of people have been doing that, which is pretty cool. But it is weird. It's weird as us as a band, like not being able to it's like it is pretty fun playing by yourself to perform or whatever. It's actually kind of good. It's like, oh, okay, I gotta learn the words. I gotta like focus on all these things. But it does kind of stink not being able to play all three of us together. It's
Yeah.
definitely there's just different. It's not as it's fun in a different way, but not fun as is in the usual kind of way. So
Yeah, you guys kind of like sending wave files to each other and kind of like jamming on top of those and building.
that's pretty much what we did for that recording. Is
Yeah.
because I actually have a well, she'll be 7 months old, 7 month old baby. So
Oh,
I've
very
been
cool.
just like playing in the headphones, like when she goes to sleep. It's like, okay, I'm gonna go like spend 2 hours and try to record this track. Um, so it's been, yeah, it's cool in some ways, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, I kind of wish it would just go back to normal. But
Yeah, it's not the same.
yeah, but we're lucky we got the internet and we got these we have interfaces or whatever, like a 2 channel interface. So it's like, okay, I can record what I need. So it's pretty cool in that way.
Yeah.
Um,
21st century is definitely something special.
yeah, we're
Yeah.
lucky we're not a slave to like a studio or like have to go to a studio. It's pretty cool. I can just do it in my tiny little hoarder room back here.
Yeah. And that raises some other questions for thought, meaning like if so many people are live streaming, like how do you grab that attention, of all the other people who are live streaming, even just talk shows like we are now, but on top of that, like all the music out there and everything in between, it's a lot going on. And how do you kind of, I guess,
Yeah. That's what
decipher
we
yourself?
kind of
Nope.
about. I don't know if we have quite an answer yet.
Yeah, I don't think we quite figured it out. Well, I guess my first, or what I was thinking is that, it depends, but I guess my first gut reaction was that, like, if someone clicked on a video, it would be like it would be good visual. So, like, if you had a good visual, someone would click on it, then they would see, oh, is the audio good? If the audio sounds good, they might, tune in for a little bit. But there's always, like, I know I'm, guilty myself, is you'll stream into a live show for, even you could stream it for 2 minutes or you could do it for 20 minutes, but people just come and go, all the time too. So at that point, it's almost, the live stream is so tough because it's like, how do you, like, people, if you're at a show, it's like, oh, well, all my friends are here. I'm not going to just like get up and leave. Like when like at a live stream, it's like, oh yeah, I could just leave this and go get a glass of water or whatever.
Yeah.
And not. So there's a lot of, I don't think we're kind of testing out some things now, and we'll see. I kind of just think, the best way to do it for the live streaming is finding these pages. So there's like a couple pages where people will like get approved to, to post and all that sort of stuff. And I think that's kind of the best opportunity for live streaming right now. But it's a tough thing.
Yeah, one of our directors called it guerrilla war sharing. Yeah, kind of coined that phrase. I loved it.
Yeah.
Really just
Well,
sharing everything at this point,
right. Well, the thing is it's like, should we go live at like 9 a.m. because everybody's on at 7 p.m. or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, the competition is pretty thick.
Yeah.
Right. Well, then you got like fish streaming at 9 o'clock.
Right.
Yeah.
So, which they get, yeah, it's like whatever, 100,000 views. So it's like, well, then you click into like ours and it's just like, oh, me, like, around a guitar. Like, oh, I guess I'm gonna watch the fish thing. So it's like, I don't, but that's also our perspective. So I don't know. I don't know what other people might, who knows, people might sit there and just click through and see what they can find. It's definitely, I feel like there's an opportunity there. I feel like you want to be that viral, that one that whatever everybody posts. But I don't know if that, I don't know how
We're gonna have to pull down our pants and moon the camera, I think,
yeah.
in
So-
order for that to happen.
Something obscene.
Yeah,
Yeah.
behind the scenes stuff. Yeah.
Shock factor.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Cool. Anything else you guys want to add? I do have more questions for each of you.
What's that?
I said I do have one more question for each of you.
I think not at this point. I'm good.
Yeah. I think I'm good.
Cool. So, Bill, what inspires you?
What inspires me? Musically or yeah, I don't know. New baby. Yeah, what they're just fun. I guess for at least playing guitar wise, I feel like it's always been kind of a release. It's always just like I can just focus on playing guitar and I can just kind of block everything else out.
Mhm.
So I guess playing music, but I'm trying to think of any other inspiration. I guess in these off times too, I've been listening to a lot of music, like trying to listen to different things. I feel like even right, I wish I wasn't, but you are a slave to the Facebook or whatever, and I'll just like whatever flip through and just read like random. Like I started listening to Steve Vai, who I never really paid attention to before, but it's like, oh, I read an article and they're talking about Frank Zappa. So I was like, oh, I'm just gonna. So I feel like I've been trying to branch out musically a little bit too,
Nice.
and get inspiration that way, I guess.
Awesome. I dig that.
Uh,
I'll go down. What about you, Taylor?
What inspires me? Well, I mean, because I'm sure Joe will say this too, is that like I think I mean the outdoors have always been inspiring. So just like pausing music for a second and going and doing something else and then coming back with a fresh kind of perspective. I think always like if I take a break, I think when I always come back, I'm like 100% into it. So I think that always kind of gets me energized. I think the recording process has also been just kind of inspiring as of late too. I mean, because we've always kind of considered ourselves like a live band. I think, I mean, since we were young, I think a lot of our band, like the bands that we've idolized, have always been like kind of big like live acts. But just getting like into the recording process has also been just, I don't know if I would say inspiring, but more maybe just like motivating, to just get better at or whatever at my own instrument and just more into the whole process and just creating songs. And I think making songs on the spot, like the song that we made for Chris Chase's album, I mean it came together in a pretty quick amount of time. I think that's what I really like about music, is just that creative process and coming up with something on the spot, but I don't know, being able to hopefully come up with something pretty good. Yeah.
Fine tune it. Yeah. I dig that as well.
Yeah.
What about you, Joe?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot does. I think I'm kind of the combination of both you guys. Like where music, music definitely inspires me for sure. Like I'll listen to a record or something and then, I'm like, I need to like sometimes I just wish I could just listen to like albums all the way through. Cause sometimes I will stop it and be like, I need to write a song because I just I had an idea, and then you like go do it, and you're like, damn it, this is terrible. Like maybe I should just play that record again and leave it, play it to the end. But I think music definitely, and then yeah, I think walking on the, our first record, Walk in the Woods, it kind of goes along with what we do, where fresh air and walking around in the woods is somewhat refreshing. So I think that definitely gives us an open mind to write music. But yeah, it's this album was different in that way, but and I think this song as well. But I think with these times, it's we'll just do whatever we can to put out, even if it's not super duper mega great. Or like just like everybody has their own their things, and we're putting something together and hopefully raising some money for some people. So yeah.
No, I love that.
Yeah.
For the greater good, for sure. Awesome. Well, I wanted to thank you guys. This is the Kenny Brothers Band. You can find them on Spotify as the Kenny Brothers Band. Check out all their albums as well as their new 2020 release. And look forward to another album coming out soon. That's up in the air though, Corona dependent.
Yeah.
As well as catch them live in New Hampshire for sure. They put on a great show. I've seen them a few times as well. And I'm your host Rico, and this is the Emporium Live, and we bridge the gaps between venues, bands, and fans by bringing on industry professionals as well as artists to share their stories and experiences. I want to thank you guys again.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Cool.